always been like, a very inquisitive person. I've always asked a lot of questions because I want to know exactly what it is that I'm doing, right?
Yes.
So when I say I'm a student of life, man, like in order to really learn about the world, man, you got to get out in it. You can't
Yes.
really learn it from a book. And that was a good thing that my mother had in us, is that she didn't like have this super tight grip on us to where like you can't leave out of my eyesight. Like no,
Mhm.
you know what I mean. So like she let us go out into the world, but only what I'm saying at appropriate ages, right? When I say appropriate ages, I mean like I'm not an 8-year old hanging the block at 12 o'clock at night. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like no, like hey boy, the street light, come on, you better get in the house.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what
I
I'm
remember
saying?
them
It
days.
was still, yeah, it was still those days. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until like after, when I got a little bit older and she kind of like started to loosen that grip. But
Yeah.
I think a most majority of it came to the point to like she put the fear of God in me.
Mhm.
So I knew that, I didn't want to disappoint her and I didn't want to upset her. So I limited the things that I took part in. But at the same time, I was aware enough to be able to see how the world works.
And King Kevin, I got to say this. I got to say this to the world is that me knowing King Kevin the majority of his life and seeing his process, I got to give him props on congratulations of him becoming a real estate licensed realtor in South Carolina and gaining North Carolina at the same time.
That's right. We
Thank
do
you, thank you.
congratulate.
Yes, and I know that King Kevin through this process has gained a lot of. That's why we call him the Jack of Trades.
Jack of all trades.
He's a young king that earned his crown.
Yes.
And he's on this show to give enlightenment to anybody that's going through a struggle of being a single parent. And he just gave an example of two parents still having to leave him and his brother in the house for an hour, or having somebody to watch while their parents was most likely at work. He seen that they was going to get work. He gained all that knowledge, and it helped him gain the world. And that's the same thing that we are here on this Transition to Changes podcast.
And one conversation will make a positive difference. So stay tuned. And if you are enjoying this show tonight, please visit us at www.transitionalchangesmission.wordpress.com, or you can write to us at tcmissionspeaks@gmail.com, or you can call us at 910-985-9090.
Thank you. Stay tuned.
Beatfella.com. 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 Beatfella.com.
Hi, and welcome back to Transitional Changes Mission Podcast Show. This is your host, Queen Summers.
And your host, King Summers.
And we want to thank you so much for giving Transitional Changes Mission Incorporated and also our special guest, King Kevin, an opportunity to having conversations with you this evening.
Yes, we are back, and where we left off at was King Kevin is going to kick it off with explaining how you and us and everybody, no matter what's in front of you, talk about your past of remembering how you came out of something that should empower you to where you are now. Just recognize it and pat yourself on the back that you are still here and moving forward.
Right. Well, first of all, man, I think that, with the one thing that a lot of us have to kind of get in our vocabulary and get comfortable with is the word awareness, right? Everything starts with awareness. In order to make change, you have to be aware. So I think it was just my awareness to know that my situation was only going to change when I took hold of it, right? So when I started to hold myself accountable for my actions, I started to see better. And see, it's like, okay, now I can't rely on, this person or that person to do things for me. Again, that goes back to my past and my mother instilling it in us to, if you want something, you have to be the one to go out here and get it. And so with that, man, I had to kind of let life kind of take its course, so to speak. Went through the bumps and bruises, but I think some of it is your mind has to get to a certain level of maturity before you start to recognize, I need to make a change. There is no specific number for no individual. They have to reach that point on their own. But once I did reach that and I realized, okay, now, what is it that I want? I had to really have that conversation with myself. Like, what is it that you really want, And once I figured that out, it's like, okay, the next step is, how do I go and get it? So that's what kind of led me on, this again. Well, I ain't gonna say lead me, but to continue this journey that we all are walking. It's called life.
King Kevin, that is exactly what Transitional Changes Mission name stands for. King Kevin just said the 3 steps of our name of our nonprofit. You got a transition, that is recognizing, being awareness. Then King Kevin said part 2 is embracing the change. Once you do that, you go to the mission.
You got to go get it. Yes. So imagine when you think about Transitional Changes Mission, imagine collaborating on behalf of homeless children and families. Imagine knowing that you help an agency that welcomes your talents and time. Imagine the smile of a homeless child who learns that they have an advocate, which is you. We'll be unveiling a variety of programs coming very soon. These programs will be included to, but not limited to, programs to reduce depression and anxiety in children and youth, programs to reduce suicide ideation and thinking in adults, programs to increase housing and self-sufficiency for homeless families, programs to increase optimism and positive social emotional skills. Stay current at www.transitionalchangesmission.wordpress.com.
And stay tuned, because you're going to catch King Kevin right back on the show talking about more of this knowledge. All this is a plan to come together. At the end of the day, we're going to end family homelessness together. That's right. Our mission. Kevin is a real estate licensed realtor in South Carolina. So at the end, with King Kevin, we'll give you some contacts to get in touch with him. He will always be a part of the Transitional Changes Mission family.
Yes,
and we invite all and everybody to do the same.
Yes.
Our mission is to bridge the gap between communication
and family homelessness. And it takes a community to end homelessness. Family shelters can and do function as part of the frontline combating bias and providing opportunities for families who fall through the cracks. However, it will take more than a few service providers to call attention to the elephant in the room. It will take all of us as a nation to voice our intolerance of policies that make it difficult for some to ever rise out of poverty. So what are you doing now as a parent, King Kevin?
As a parent, what I'm doing is providing for my family what I didn't have when I was coming up. And I think that's what fuels me in my actions now. Because I knew that, my mother did everything in her power to, provide for me and my brother,
yes.
As a single mother. But at this point, I'm trying to give my children something that I didn't have coming up, and it was a two-parent household. Majority of my life, it was just me, her, and my brother.
Yes.
And so to be able to give my children that two-parent household, that balance, that's what's kind of, important to me. And that's what fuels, all the decisions that I make. I know that now it's not just, me anymore. It's me plus 3,
That's
right?
That's
where, my mind is now. And it took some growth. We all, again, we have to get to that point at some point in our lives.
Yes.
When that is just totally up to that individual. But awareness, again, everything starts with awareness.
Tonight, I want you to write in. I want you to call us. I want you to visit the website. Share us with all your friends, all your family members, all your co-workers. Check us out on all social media platforms. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're everywhere. Like us, love us, share us.
And before we leave out on the night and close this show, I just want to give some inspiration to anybody that's out there that's going through hardship at this time, indecisive about decisions that they need to make in their life. You know that you are being unconditional love from Transition to Change's mission, and everybody a part of Transition to Change's mission family, which is you. Don't never give up. Always believe in yourself. The belief in yourself will lead to you to recognize, to be aware, to know that you are fin to go into a change. Once you embrace that change, because some changes you cannot change. We are finna go into spring. And at this time, the pandemic is coming up with a change. Or at least that's what we are having more shows about.
Right.
And it's looking kind of good, or you can see a dim light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
And always keep that light at the end of the tunnel. It's never to close out. Look forward to the change. It's going to drive you to the mission.
And we'll be right here. Transitional Changes Mission Incorporated. Can you provide us with some of your contact information, King Kevin, for our listeners?
Yeah, I sure can. If anybody needs to reach me, you can reach me at kevin.barr, that's BARR, at Ryan Hart, RINEHART, realty.com. And cell phone number is 704-816-9214. And that's helping anybody in the North and South Carolina areas, mainly around like the Charlotte portion, trying to achieve their goals of home ownership. My thing is, I can't put this on a hat, but, to be able to provide that Chick-fil-A worth of customer service, right? And that's what, that's what got me into real estate. It's because, the feeling that I have for helping somebody, and also helping them achieve a goal like home ownership.
Yes.
But yeah, man, so, definitely you just reach out to me, man, because again, like, it's all about happiness, man, and like, it makes you a lot happier, man, when you have something that you can call your own.
Yes, and you are so right, and that's why we are building a village. We are a village that is a community of the world that is starting out right here now with our podcast show, where you can reach us at Transition to Changes Mission Speaks at gmail.com, or you can go to our awesome website at transitiontochangesmission.wordpress.com, and you can reach out and join the family. But we all on the mission. If you need knowledge about finance, we got King J Link on our website. If you need knowledge about real estate or purchase a home in North Carolina or South Carolina, you got King Kevin links and all his contacts. Get in touch with him. We got founders of nonprofits that are coming on the show. We got community leaders coming on the show.
Yes.
We got you coming on the show.
Yes.
So please keep in tune with us, share us, love us, like us, and we'll do the same. Thank you for tuning in to the Transition to Changes Mission podcast show, and we want to give a special shout out to King Kevin. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on the show. Yes, we enjoyed. Yes, we enjoyed the show.
Looking forward to seeing you again and speak some more knowledge out there. And this is why this is the topic. And like we said at the beginning, it's a topic that got a whole lot of series. It's a book. And we just at the first chapter, my people. Thank you again for tuning in to the Transition to Changes Mission with your host, King Summers.
And your host, Queen Summers. And special guest,
King Kevin.
Have a great night.